Hey, welcome to Stitching in the Pines. I'm Susie, and this is my very first, I'm going to say podcast, but it's not always going to be a podcast. I've got a lot of ideas for what I want to put out there, and but I have to say it's mostly for my grandkids. As requested, I'm like, there's so many tutorials out there that you could learn from. And one of my grandkids said, but it's not Grandma Susie. They're not my grandma. So here I am. Okay. Introduction. This is who I am. I am a 69-year-old retired grandmother, mother of 3. I have 6 grandkids, 4 granddaughters and 2 grandsons, and I now have 2 great grandkids, which I'm super excited for, and that just means more people to knit for or make things for. So my husband and I both retired in about 2021, I believe. We had been living in a 1890s Victorian house for 25 years or so. Who's counting? And all our kids were gone, and we're retiring. We're too old to work on this ancient house, which was a lovely house, and I really hated to leave it. I loved it so much, but it's a lot to take care of, and not a good house to retire in. Though I could have died there. I would have loved to have done that, but I would have worried constantly about whether it needs a new roof or painted or whatever. But anyway, so we downsized and moved to the north part of our state. We're from Kansas, and it's colder here. Why we did that? We were from the southern part of Kansas, and Winfield to be exact, almost to Oklahoma. But now we're in the north part of the state, and it is colder up here. We get some more snow, I think. But anyway, we sat around for a couple of years, and my husband doesn't have any hobbies. So after he sat around for two years, I'm like, because you hear about old retired people who stop, and then they die because they just stop. And I'm like, it's my job to keep my husband alive. So I told him he had to go get a job. So he's driving a school bus now. I'm sorry, honey. But anyway, I think he really loves it, but he would never admit it. He gets attached to the kids. So anyway, what else? Okay, let's... well, let me just say this. If you want to follow me anywhere else, I am Susie Knits 1. That's the number 1. Susie Knits 1 on Ravelry and Instagram. And just Susie Knits on Facebook. Though I feel like I'm phasing out of Facebook a little bit. I mostly post my handmade things on Instagram. So anyway, there's that. Let's see. Yeah, I am looking at my notes because I could rattle on about nothing for a long time. So I'm trying to stay on track. So anyway, just to say that this is not going to be like a professional podcast. I'm new at this, and so we're just gonna plow in and but don't expect anything wonderful. No judgment, please. I will not talk about politics. I do believe in God, so that may slip in here and there. So if you're an atheist, see you later. So some of the things you'll see here, some of the things I want to do, of course, my granddaughters want me to do tutorials on a project she's doing. She knows how to knit, but she asked me to help her make a blanket. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. And I'm planning some travel. Got a big trip coming up in August. My cousin and I are going to go to Scotland and Ireland, which is a dream trip for sure. Once in a lifetime thing. So I'm excited about that, getting ready for that. And of course I crochet too, so I may do some crochet tutorials and maybe some sewing. I have a t-shirt quilt. I'm trying to make each grandkid a t-shirt quilt. And I am on, that one is, my next one is ready to be put together now. I mean, I've got all the t-shirts put together. I need to sew together the batting, and I got to figure that out. I'm not an expert at anything, so don't judge. Okay, I'm going to go through my projects because I have quite a few. And then maybe at the end, I'll show you a couple of things I did make. Maybe I'll do that first. I'll show some things that I have made. And these are not necessarily just finished, but stuff I just have sitting around, like this shawl. This shawl is Carolina in the Country. It's a free pattern on Facebook. And I don't remember the name of this yarn, but I don't think they make it anymore. So I won't even bother. And now it's caught on my necklace. So I was going to take it off because it's hot. I am hot. Last week we had the coldest weather of the year, of the season even. I can't figure out how to get this off. And now this week we're having the warmest. So that's Kansas. We go from the coldest to the warmest. So anyway, it's a pretty big shawl. It was one skein. I put on these lovely tassels. I love, love, love tassels. So boho. It's so boho. So I don't even wear it. I leave it on my mannequin, which is right over there. Okay. Next, okay, one more made thing. And I'll probably, if I'm going to do stuff, I'll show it a little bit at a time. I'm not going to bore you with everything. I went through a granny square phase last fall. And so I made a granny square jacket, which I'll show at some point. And I made this bag, which I thought was super neat. I put a magnetic snap on it and lined it. And I have worn it to a knit group a couple of times, but big old long. So I can wear everything crossbody. I just love crossbody. So, okay, now we'll go through the things I'm working on. And I'm just going to dive in right here. This is going to be a ukulele strap. That is a pattern on Ravelry. And I had this yarn, and I believe this is a Lion brand. Can't tell you the name of it. Don't have the label. It's somewhere, but I don't know where it is right now. I have a huge stash. Not as huge as it was. I've been working on it. I'm trying not to buy more yarn. I'm trying to use up yarn. So anyway, this is going to be a ukulele strap. I do have a ukulele. I kind of try to play it sometimes. I don't play it consistently enough to even remember from time to time when I pick it up to decide to play it. But I have a story about that, and I'll say that later. This is the Afghan stitch, or Tunisian crochet. And there's so few stitches, I just used a regular crochet hook on that. But I love the way that looks. Okay, so that's one thing I'm working on. I'll just make a pile down here. I don't know what else to do with everything. Drink. I'm still drinking coffee. Okay, this is a plug for my favorite pottery people. There's a bluegrass festival we attend every year at Winfield. And these people have been selling their pottery. They make the official year mug every year at Bluegrass. And my mugs were starting to break and wear out because that's all I drink coffee out of. So anyway, they're Elk Falls Pottery. We went to go visit them before Christmas, and I ordered these mugs, and they have a cute little symbol on the back. But anyway, Elk Falls Pottery, they are in Elk Falls, Kansas, and they have the cutest little shop. They're an older couple. I say older couple, I think they're my age. And they're still going. I think they'll retire eventually, but they love doing it. So I think they're going to do it until they're done. So, but it's a great place to visit. They have a nice little studio there. They have Elk Falls also has a yearly festival. It's an outhouse festival. Anyway, okay. I'm sure everything's online if you want to look anything up. This project I've been working on for 10 years. I don't know. I didn't keep track. But it's the memory blanket. It's the memory blanket. It's metered squares. Memory blanket, I believe, and it's on Ravelry, of course, using my leftover sock yarn. Some of this stuff I have dyed myself. This one right here, I dyed that. And I got a couple more that I have dyed. I dyed this one. Anyway, just using scraps of sock yarn. And I have most recently dug it out and decided you're going to work on it. Use it or lose it. So anyway, size 1 needles. And I dropped the ball of yarn I was working on. And I dyed this one. I dyed this one too. I did dye some yarn. I was just playing. I love doing it. It's fun. It's fun creating my own colors. But I don't have the place to do it anymore. And I wish I did. Okay. This next thing is my temperature blanket. Yeah, here's my setup. This is 10 degrees or below, and then in 10-degree increments. Today's color was this right here, because it's like 62 degrees or something like that outside. Yesterday I got to use this color because it was 66 or 67 degrees outside yesterday. So anyway, that's fun. And actually this is my second temperature blanket. Last year I knitted one, and my daughter crocheted one, and so did my sister. She crocheted one, and then her crocheted one, she put the bobble stitch on special days. I loved it. So I said, I got to make another blanket. So I'm crocheting another temperature blanket. And I love the bobbles. I love the bobbles in there. So, okay, there's that. Let me put my hook in here before I lose it. Okay, next in line is my sock. This, we finally got a yarn store in Manhattan, Kansas. I don't live in Manhattan anymore, but we lived in Manhattan for 1.5 years, and it was too busy of a town. Love it there. I have a daughter there, but I couldn't handle the town. And my apartment was too little, so I had to move in a place where I had a room to do all this in. So anyway, this yarn is, nope, that's not it. This yarn is called Signature Sparkle, West Yorkshire Spinners. Reared, sheared, and spun in Britain, it says. That's backwards. But anyway, and it's sparkly. So I felt like I had to buy something, so I bought a skein of sock yarn. And that's what I do. If I go somewhere, I get sock yarn because I love to knit socks. And at some point, I would like to do a sock. Let's just knit a sock. This pattern, not this pattern, but most of my patterns are done. The pattern I have is in my head. And it's just a vanilla sock with a fish lips kiss heel. Easy peasy. Toe up. So someday we're going to do a toe up sock school thing, maybe. Excuse me. So anyway, and then I like to make progress keepers too. So here's one I made. This is the sign for I love you in sign language, and I have just always done that with my grandkids. So I even had a granddaughter have it tattooed on her forearm. Anyway, I love you. Okay, and this is a sock bag that I have used. I bought it, of course, I bought it on Etsy, I believe. Darn Yarn. It's a Darn Yarn MN, whatever that stands for. I don't even remember. But it's skeletons, and it has this wonderful window, which I love. I used to have a puppy snip attached to that, but it's no longer there. Okay, so there's that. Our Joann's is leaving us. That's where I've been buying all my yarn. I do, or if I want fine yarn, I have to order it. But I do buy yarn. I bought yarn from Joann's, and I've been using a lot of this respun. It's respun yarn, and I started a blanket, and I panic ordered some online because I heard they were closing. But this is the Parker throw. Is that right side? Yeah, this is the Parker throw. I'm into my second skein on this, and it's plenty wide. Sometimes I wish I didn't make it so wide, but I did. It's also a free pattern. Megan Makes Do is I printed this off. Most of my patterns are on, I like to use Knit Companion. But this was like on a blog, so I just printed out this, so when I traveled, I couldn't remember what was next. It's a 4-row pattern repeat, which I pretty much have it memorized now. I don't need it anymore, but yeah. So I panic ordered some yarn to finish this, hopefully, and I just bought four more skeins. So I hope that's enough. All right. This, I don't have anything started right now, but this is just random worsted weight yarn. Now, here's a bag I made. It's lined with a flannel. If I could get, you can see all my yarn in there. That's what I'm making with my granddaughter for Christmas. I made her a bag, and I split all the yarn with her because why not? She'll never use it all. And I'm helping her make it. So plenty big. All the yarns are in there. And I bought her some Knit Picks wooden knitting needles, and because they're really pretty. What did I do with mine? These are pretty too, but they're not the real pretty ones. They're still wooden, but these are size 6. I just finished a square last night, so I haven't started a new square yet. Okay, and then my granddaughter's blankets over there. Okay. This is what I need to learn how to do. This is a pair of socks I knit a while back, maybe last year or 2 years ago. Anyway, they got holes in them. And I tried to patch them and they were horrible. And then I'm still getting holes. So what's the deal? I have carpeted house for the most part. Why am I wearing out my socks? But I've been seeing these little short videos of people mending their socks. So I'm going to try to learn how to do that. So that's up and coming. Learning how to patch my heels. Okay. So I've been through, but first I want to show you my frog. I made this frog. I hate his eyes. I got these cat eyes, but they don't look like a frog. So I'm going to rip his little head open and take off the eyes. And I got some, they're just black eyes, just plain black. So I think I like that better. This is the frog and toad pattern. I have a dream that I'm going to make a set of frog and toad because they're friends, and then get the book Frog and Toad. Who remembers that? Who remembers the Frog and Toad story? And give it to my grandson for when I feel like he's ready for a book. A book, he's 2. So a book that's not, that he's not going to rip out the pages. So anyway, so there's my frog. Boop, boop. Who has seen the little videos on Instagram with the little tiny frog? I got that pattern too. My sister actually bought it. And and I'm going to make that too. I want to make it. Oh, look at his little feet. Look at his feet. I love it. I love it. So anyway, and he needs clothes too. That pattern is also on Ravelry. Most patterns I get are on Ravelry because I can save it. I can save the pattern on the site, which I love. I love doing. I was going to show you the frog and toad pattern, but I don't know where it is right now. Anyway, I post everything I make on Ravelry. I try to do that. Okay, here I have some yarn. I bought this yarn at Joann's. I would have bought more of this. There's a little bunny pattern I'm going to make, and it's so cute for my great-grands. Hopefully, I'll get that done. And let's see, what else? Oh, I should just swing this around, but I'm not going to, because then you would see how messy my room really is. I've got a ton of scrap. They're not scrap yarn. I mean, some of them are whole skeins. A lot of them are Malabrigo yarns, but I'm going to make a scrap sweater. I have so many one skein things. I don't know if I'll put the speckle in there. Maybe a row or two here and there, but I don't think I'll put that whole. I don't know what else to do with the speckle yarn. I really don't want it in a sweater. I'm not sure why. I think I made speckled sweaters before and I wasn't that crazy about them. But anyway, I got a bunch of this yarn that I'm trying to use up. There's a lot of it. But like I said, not as much as there was. I owned a yarn shop from 2000, I think 2008. I started, we had already started a craft store. Me and like 6 or 7 other ladies started a craft store. We all took turns working. We all took care of our own taxes. I mean, you know, it was all our own business. We just shared a space to display our things that we make and sell. So we did that for about 10 years, I think, almost 10 years. And about 2008, I was getting carpal tunnel from painting because I painted things. And so I don't know, some lady, I would sit in there and knit to pass the time. And some ladies asked me if I gave classes, and I said, well, I don't, but I could. I'd love to show you how. And so then I bought a card table and some chairs and started inviting people in to teach them how to knit. And that's kind of where I got started. We soon outgrew our space. We moved to another space, and there wasn't any parking where we were too. So, but anyway, long story short, I started giving classes. I started buying yarn wholesale, and kind of snowballed from there. And then, so I did that for about 10 years, 10 more years. I bought a building, a fabulous building in Winfield, probably built when the town was young, and no updates or improvements had been done to it. Still had a wooden floor, the tiled ceilings. It was a beautiful store. It was a very special store. And I was the second owner. It had stayed in the same family all those years. And I think it was built in 1880. I'm not sure about that. Maybe even before that. But anyway, so I did that for 10 years. So what does a yarn store owner do when she closes? She hoards yarn. And now on Social Security, I can't afford $20 gains of yarn. So anyway, so I'm still using it up. I'll probably be using it up forever. I hope it lasts me forever. I mean, I still buy yarn. I can't resist pretty yarn. I love pretty yarn. But anyway, this was from Australia. This was, I bought yarn to make a sweater, a memory sweater. And here's some that was left over from a project, which I made a short sleeve sweater to go with a dress, because I don't wear spaghetti straps for sure. 69-year-olds don't wear spaghetti straps for obvious reasons. And so I made a little sweater to go with that dress. But so anyway, my brother was living in Australia, I think 20 years, at least 20 years. I can't remember how long he'd been there. Met a woman online and went down there and married her. And they were married for 20-some years. Anyway, I got a call one day. My brother had been diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. They just said stage 4 lung cancer, but it had spread all over his body. Now, if you believe in socialized medicine, there's a good reason not to believe in it, because he got passed through the system. He had gone to the doctor several times to figure out what was wrong with him, why he was having trouble breathing. Nothing happened. They did nothing. So then it spread. It spread to other places, his throat, and then it went to his brain. And of course, it was the brain cancer that ultimately killed him. So anyway, I didn't mean to throw that one in there. That was kind of a downer. Anyway, so his daughter and I went to Australia to spend 2 weeks with him. I mean, and he went fast. He was gone in about four months. So anyway, so I like to buy souvenir yarn. So I had to buy $300 worth of yarn to remember Australia by. It was the second time I'd been to Australia. We had fun. It was a good time. We have lots of memories. And I'm thankful for those memories now. Oh, let's see. I think I've talked about everything. Talked about the Copenhagen. Oh, I didn't tell you what the project was that was my granddaughter's. It's called the Copenhagen blocks. Let me pull it up real quick, and then I promise I'll go. Where's Ravelry? No, it's in Knit Companion. Oh, come on. Okay, where's my projects? There it is. It's Copenhagen Blocks by Jake Hensler. But, let me turn this around. This is what it's going to look like. So basically it's the same pattern, but the roofs are different. You can change the windows, the doors, there's, the roof colors. So, yeah. Copenhagen building blocks. This is what my granddaughter wants me to help her make. So that's what we're doing. Okay, I think I've talked long enough. I need to go refresh my coffee. And I've only talked for 30 minutes. So that's pretty good, right? For the first one. I'm not going to get real long. A lot of my videos are going to be short and sweet, especially the tutorials. So if there's something you'd like me to do, I know they're all over the place out there, but if there's something you want to see, I would love it if you would follow me and maybe give it a like and make an old woman happy. Yeah, that would be awesome. And if you don't like me, if I don't agree with you, if my voice irritates you, then there's many more out there that you can go listen to. When I started, oh, sorry, I moved this. I didn't mean to do that. When I started watching podcasts, there were so many that I loved. And Naughty Nitwits was one. Legacy Knits was one. I liked them until they started talking politics, which they, I don't know. I just don't like it when people talk politics. I'll turn on the news if I want to hear that. I come on here to hear about knitting and fun stuff that you're doing. So, anyway, that's not why I'm here. That's not why I get on here. Another thing I'd like to do is do book reviews or just do books. I will review products if I get something new, and all that. I'm also a thrifter. I didn't mention that. I've newly found thrifting, which my latest thrift item, it's over there in the corner. I found a music stand for $5 for when I play in the orchestra. I was talking about my ukulele earlier, and there's my oldest daughter is a music teacher, elementary music teacher here in town. And last year she invited me to come watch them play. They started, her friend and the group of music teachers from this area get together and do stuff or talk or get ideas, whatever. And one of them decided to start a ukestra. It's just a group of people who play the ukulele, and they did a Christmas show last year. And my daughter also plays the flute, and they played some lovely music. Anyway, but he wants to start a community ukulele group, which I'm excited about. I hope he starts that soon. I can't wait. I've owned a ukulele for several years now, but I have not properly learned how to play it. Or do I play it consistently enough to remember how to? Anyway, okay. I don't know how often I'll get on here or when I feel like I have more content, but I will do some tutorials in between because I don't have that much to say. Not that much goes on when you're retired. So we'll see how it goes. So thumbs up if you like me. Subscribe if you want to hear more. All right. Bye-bye.